Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Okay, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.
Okay, now we get Shannon on, and then we get Courtney on.
Yeah. Hi.
Welcome back, ladies from Canada.
Hi.
How you doing tonight?
Good.
Good, the best as we can.
I'm sorry, the what again?
I disappeared.
Oh, there's nothing to be scared about. You've been on once before. This should be a dry
I was
run.
like, oops, I disappeared. I was like,
Oh, yeah, well, I have trouble disappearing too. My computer is very slow, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be with you in a moment, ladies. I got to say to my audience, good evening and welcome to my live podcast, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week, and I've been doing this for 15 months. There's over 900 people I've either texted or talked to that have been on my podcast, not only from the United States, all 50 states, including Washington, D.C., which is not a state, but I've also heard from over 20 countries. I've had Bangladesh and India, and then I've had the Middle East, and then I had Africa, 6 countries there. Europe has been 8 countries. Then we go across the pond to North America. I've had several provinces in Canada, and this morning I even had a province from Nova Scotia, 2 ladies on this morning. And then I have had Mexico. Then down in South America, I've had Grenada. Then over the Pacific, I've had New Zealand. And then 2 states in Australia. I've had the Gold Coast and the state of Victoria on the south coast of Melbourne area. So we now are blessed again with these ladies that really struggled a lot with their cases. And so I'm so glad to have you back again. And maybe you can finish where we left off. If I can refresh everybody, this is Shannon, and you're from Nova Scotia, right?
Yes.
Then we have Courtney, you're from Nova Scotia. So I've had 4 people from Nova Scotia. Maybe I'm confused with you and the other 2 ladies from Canada. You're on to me this morning, or was it last night?
Last night.
Okay. Then one morning I must have had Philistine and the lady from Michigan. Okay. Anyway, I'm glad you've returned. It must mean that you felt comfortable, and I'm so glad. And I'm glad you got on so easily. For all you listeners out here, this is a live podcast, And hello, Kathy from Kathy Ripley, I think is from Canada, if I'm not mistaken. And Akima Richardson, she's from Brooklyn, New York, sometimes called KK. And there comes all my rooms bombarding in. That's terrible. All these rooms come in so they can spit and they hide all my people that just text in. They're early tonight because this morning they didn't come into the end of the show. And somehow my comments stopped about a quarter to the end of my show. But I'm so glad to have you here. So I welcome Akima and I welcome Kathy. And they're joining us here with, oops, we lost Courtney. Where did Courtney disappear? Hold on.
She'll be back.
No, it's my fault because my computer, I had to hit escape and enter. I mean, I have a virus and
There
I've
she is.
isolated it, but there we go. I need to go back. I don't forget you. So all you that are listening here, there are 4 ways you can interact with this podcast. I'll go really quick. One way is you found this room, and already emojis are coming up. Thank you so much. I already got 3 hearts already. Wow. Thank you, Kathy and Liliana and Philistine. Philistine's from Quebec, and she was the other Canadian that her and her friend from Michigan. So I'm so glad to see y'all. I got a thumbs up, fruit. I got a thumbs up from. Let me see here. Well, I had to hit escape. Escape again. Nothing. Okay. There we go. I got Liliana and Philistine. Okay, both of you. Okay, great. Thank you for the thumbs up and the hearts and stuff. So you found the room, and you also are starting to chat in the room. I think I need to put up the guidelines for chatting in the room. When you're typing in a message, make sure it pertains to CPS. You can either be in the form of a comment or a question about CPS. Please show me your first name and your city or county. That's if in the United States, and of course the state you're calling from. Now, if you're outside of the United States, please show me your province or your state, because some countries have state, and your country, so that I can help you with your case. I'm open to anybody that has a CPS question or problem that would like some help, because it is a very terrible experience. I'm pretty sure Sean and Courtney can tell you what they've gone through. It's not a very pleasant experience. But if you get it early, there's ways I can help you. There's ways I can help you. Now, we got more people that come in here. Hold on. I don't know if they're just room people, room messages. I got lots of room messages tonight. Trying to wait for them all to settle down. Wow. So far, it's Kathy and Akima, and you 2 ladies tonight are in my room. I don't see anybody else left off. I'm looking right now through all the comments from the rooms. So Akima says, thank you guys for coming to my show and telling your story. You guys made a great, great progress for us. That's great. So you went on KK show. That's super. That's super. A lot of you are going to other shows. I know there's a show tonight at 5:30. So I'm so glad that you did that. And let me see. Anybody else have any other comments to say? I have to be careful. Okay. Liliana, hello. What part of the world are you from, Liliana? That's great to have you here. And Akeem says, hi, Phyllis. Sorry, I remembered you from last night. Send me a message as we can touch base. Okay, if you want to communicate with each other, it's fine. KK, I still don't have your phone number. It's Betty Joe from Montana that wants to talk to you. Betty Joe from Montana. If you can text me to my phone number, your phone number, I can go ahead and give it to Betty Joe. Now, Philistine says, I was born in Nova Scotia and, okay, lived in Nova Scotia. Okay, I'm sorry. Philistine, if I believe you're an indigenous Indian, you're the First Nation people in Canada. That's what they call the Indian people. A little different than the Indian people in America. They're called the Native American Indians. But in Canada, they call them the First Nation. She is a First Nation Indian. So She's gone through a lot, and she's also talked on the show. Akima says, "Hey, Nova Scotia, did you guys find out what the allegations were in the reference to them taking your son, Courtney?" So
No, we have
there's a
not.
question. Her answer is she has not found out. She's not found out. And Philistine says, I had the government calling me over 100 times in 1 year, 3 times a week. Somebody would be at my door, bothering me. Child Protection Service is corrupt. The government is corrupt, systematically bullying good parents, but just wanted to live in peace. That better than needs to be stopped. I agree with you, Philistine, and you did express that a lot when you're on the show. I know that they are corrupt. Now, Kima says, "Can I tell Lynn, Bob?" Now, who is Lynn? Can I tell Lynn? I don't know who Lynn is, Akima, but Bob, and tell you about my court proceedings today, which concluded closing arguments for the fact hearing. Sure, if you want to call in, I'm going to give Courtney and Shauna a chance to speak, and then you can be up next, Akima. I'm not for forgetting you. Akima says,
I meant to say Colin.
yeah.
Gotta love typos.
I'm sorry, what?
Said you gotta love typos.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Akima says, meant to say, can I call in? Sure, you can call in. But hold on a second. Boy, these messages are coming so fast. I have people here. I have Gene Toller, who I've never met before. Welcome to the room. I was recently asked by my caseworker what counties my kids were born in. Is there any other reason they wondered that except on attempt to get their birth certificate, adopt them out? I'd be very careful giving information to CPS. My rule number 3 says you do not talk to CPS unless your lawyer is present. You don't talk to CPS. You don't talk to the police unless your lawyer is present. You'll get yourself into too much trouble.
Yes.
Okay, that was Gene Tolliver, and I don't know where you're from. Kathy Ripley, I have 9 children to CPS, grandchildren 2, can't find. 4 kind of return, 3 fighting for home visits up next week. That is a big mess, Kathy. Wow.
God love her.
Liliana says she's from Houston, Texas. Well, welcome, Houston, Texas. I spoke to the lawyer about petitioning in a suit affecting the parental relationship. Well, in order to do a lawsuit against CPS, you got to make sure your CPS case is closed. Yeah, Liliana's Houston, Texas. I got that. Akima says, Shannon, did you speak to the attorney yet? The direction of Mr. Davis is from earlier today. Did you take his advice and reach out?
I haven't spoken to my lawyer yet. I just recently attained my lawyer. She's trying to catch up with the court papers because at first I wasn't added to this court case at all. It was just my daughter and the father of the baby. So now I'm added to the CPS file. So I did retain a lawyer because where I am seeking to go for full custody of my grandson, even though their CPS is determined to push for adoption. So right now, my lawyer will be reaching out to my daughter's lawyer. So they'll be talking. but my daughter's lawyer, even though she really wasn't allowed to represent me, but she was guiding me on what to do at the court and talking to me and
Okay.
and try to fight on my behalf.
Okay. Now, I had mentioned something about getting just guardianship. You want to take full custody, huh?
Yes, I'm going to go for full custody of my grandson. Courtney will still be part of her son no matter what. She is his mother.
Well, that's
Um,
true. But if you go for full guardianship instead of temporary guardianship, they turn all the rights, and the mother no longer has any rights legally.
yeah, this is where they're pushing it. This is what they want right now. I
Okay.
don't know how we're doing this or what the courts are doing it, but the courts want me to go for full legal custody right now, in order to see if we can get him out of the system.
Yeah.
The way we're going to do it is hopefully they will, but CPS right now is fight no matter which way they're fighting us. But no matter which way, like I told my lawyer and Courtney's lawyer, Courtney will still be part of her son's life no matter what. She is his mother. I don't want to be the mother of my grandson. I want to be grandma. She's his mom. Even if we get full custody, Courtney will still have say in her son. She'll still be part of her son's life no matter what, like going to his doctor's appointments and whatnot. It's a sad situation of how CPS actually came into our home and destroyed it. They literally destroyed it for no reason with all these lies. We to this day we would like to know what grounds they actually had to come into my home and take him out of my care. Like they didn't tell us why. He was not abused, he was not neglected, he was well taken care of. And at first, like they keep changing their story of why they took him. The first thing they're using is my daughter's medical and mental state because she has a disability. And
Uh-huh.
then they used me as a scapegoat at, as well, saying the reason why they took him out of my home and wouldn't place him under my care is because I broke the safety plan and I allowed my grandson's mother to take him out of my home and bring him to the father of her sons. Well, there was never any discussion of a safety plan put in place. I never agreed for Courtney and the baby to even live with me that I was aware of. I never signed any legal documents stating that Courtney and my grandson was to live here and that we will take full responsibility. Um, yes, Courtney had her own apartment. Like I even said to the CPS worker, like when I went after them, I told him, I said, like, if there was a documentation stating that I signed that I am taking responsibility of my daughter and my grandson, I want to see that documentation because I know a little bit about the law, not much about the law. I do have lawyers in my mother's side of the family, but I mean, like, I never signed anything. So I don't know where you got it in your head that there was a safety plan. There was no discussion of a safety plan. Courtney had her own apartment. She had support staff that was working with her. Yes, I agree, as any parent will with their children.
You might
My mother did
interject.
it too.
Courtney is a special need child. Courtney, the
Yeah.
daughter of Shannon, is special needs. So she has adult special needs people that do help her handle. One thing she has is seizures. So she has special needs. So
Yeah.
that's why they're involved. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I agreed that, like, I will help my daughter in any way. Any parent will do that for their children. Like, I mean, my mother helped me when I needed it with with her grandchildren. And I said, like, I work full time at a hospital in Truro, Nova Scotia. I work 3 to 11 shift. So Courtney has her staff that comes in with her. I think it was like 4 or 5 times a week for certain hours of the day. After work, I agreed I'll go to Courtney's house and I will, sit with the baby. Like, she can go get a shower, do whatever she needed to get done. And then on my weekends when I'm off, I will take the baby so I can give her a break and she can sleep and whatever, because that's just like, I like to spend time with my grandson on my days off. Okay, that'd be great. And then all of a sudden, all I know is CPS got a call from here we have what it's called. What do I call? They call them public health nurses. They work out of the hospital. So when they get called in when you have a baby, they come into your home, and what they'll do is they'll weigh the baby, make sure the baby's gaining weight for the first, I think, 3 months. And then they're done. They'll take measurements to make sure the baby's gaining his weight at his proper stages and whatnot.
Okay, excuse me 1 second. Time. I need to answer Akima's question.
Yep.
What state is Kathy from? She's from Canada, I believe. Kathy's from Canada, if I'm not mistaken. I believe, Kathy, are you from Canada? If you can answer Akima's question. Go ahead, Shannon. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a mess, and how this situation started. Like, the stuff that CPS is saying and doing, it's just ridiculous, especially in the affidavits when they're going to court. They are making us out to be unfit family. They're constantly lying. Like, the lies. I mean, when we went to the settlement hearing, the judge himself actually caught CPS and their lawyer in multiple lies. And I mean, like, it's just crazy. It's just totally crazy. So now what they're doing is, at first they were saying the reason why I wasn't allowed to get the baby, and why they wouldn't place him with me, is because I broke the safety plan. That didn't work because we actually caught them in a lie regarding that. So now they're changing their story, and now they're using it. The reason why they don't want us to have him is because of his disability, because my grandson has a disability because of his club feet. So he has to wear special boots and bars. So now they're using that is that we don't not know how to put them on properly, and we are causing him to get severe blisters and damage to his feet. So they don't think it's in the best interest of my grandson that he be placed with us.
Hold on 1 second. I have another question from Akima for you. Yeah. When Courtney was released from the hospital, is there a reason why she didn't get your guardianship right then and there for health reasons?
I don't know.
Okay. Akima, she doesn't know. Go ahead. I don't mean to keep interrupting you, Shannon. I'm just
That's okay. Well,
trying to have the people through and be part of this. So
Courtney was never deemed mentally incompetent. Courtney can make her own decisions, right? And she can. That's why she's actually in independent living program, and she's in her own apartment. The only thing is that Courtney does have a learning disability, which she does. But Courtney can make her own decisions. So she's under Department of Community Services for persons with disabilities and support services. So right now, they pay for her home, like her apartment and anything that she needs. Right now she's underneath another agency that is like that offers in supports. They come into their home. They make sure, like, that she gets to her appointments and whatnot. As she needs to get her medications, they'll take her to the drugstore to get her medications, get her groceries, whatever that she needs. It's just extra supports for her. They come in a couple hours a day, like
Uh-huh.
3 or 4 times a day, and whatnot. But I don't know why CPS is doing what they're doing. And they never really are giving Courtney a chance. But now they're saying that they did do a psych evaluation on Courtney through CPS. And they're saying in an affidavit, CPS stated that they're in fear of Courtney being a harm to her son, and that she, because of her mental capacity and whatnot, that she might be a harm for him, and they don't want to give her a chance.
Question. What kind of workers are these caseworkers? Are they clinical psychiatrists? What's their
Nope.
background? Well, then why in the world are they talking about that? They need to have a professional make a diagnostic of what can be done and not be done. These social workers, a lot of them don't even have a high school education, let alone a college education. They don't have a college degree. They don't have a license. They don't have the experience or the training. So, I wouldn't keep talking to him. I'd constantly have my attorney do his work. Now, there's another question that came up here from Miss D. I think you're new. I don't think I've talked to you before, but she said she had a hearing, never gave notice to come for the court and be heard procedure due process. Well, Miss D, besides telling me where you're from, do you have an attorney? Because you should be asking your attorney that question. That's what you should do, Miss D. Okay, go ahead and continue on, Sean. And I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. It's just like it is a total, like, right now my family is torn apart. It's causing us a lot of stress. Right now, I mean, to the point where my husband, he took a mild heart attack and he had to get a double bypass. And now CPS is asking for our medical. They're demanding our medical files. They're demanding for him to apply for Canada Pension Disability, and we're not.
Well, okay, question. Do you guys have Social Security?
We have what is called Canada Pension.
Okay, in the Canada
It's almost the
Pension,
same.
those are the people that determine whether or not your husband gets what you want, not CPS workers. Again, CPS workers are stepping out of their bounds.
Yep.
Now, Akima has another question for you. Is Courtney's child living in the same province as you?
Yes, he
Yes.
is in the same town.
In the same town. So, Akima, Courtney's son is in the same town, the same province. Let's see what else Akima said. Shannon, the first thing you offered to step in, and they did not give you standing. I remember that. You did talk about that. Then Akima says you should be petitioning for full custody, which she is, based on Courtney's disability. That would have been a less restrictive alternative to removal. Okay, so she says you're doing full custody, which you've already said you're doing.
Yes.
Okay. Akima further says there's a court order in place when Courtney needs the trip to see the baby's dad. That's true, right? No?
There was no court order.
There needs to be a court order. You have to understand everything's got to be done through the courts and it's got to be legal.
Okay.
Because if you go to see the dad, your dad, are you on good terms with the dad, Courtney?
Yes, I talk to him on a regular basis.
Okay. All right. Long as you're on good terms, it's okay. But you gotta be careful because sometimes people's moods change, their ways of doing things change. So you gotta be everything's gotta be legit and have something that you could show the police. You see, the police can't interpretate the law, they can only enforce the law.
Mhm.
Police are supposed to enforce the law. If the speed limit says 65 kilometers an hour or 65 miles an hour in the United States, that's the law. If you go over it, they can write you a ticket. They enforce the laws. Police are not supposed to help social workers kidnap or traffic our children into foster care. That's wrong that they do that. So I want to make quite clear the difference between social workers and the police. The police are there to protect the social worker from anger people that might be angry with the social worker. They're for protection primarily. But what has happened is that the social worker says we're going to use them for intimidation. Because when a policeman shows up, and I don't think they show up in Canada anymore in their red and black pants with a big broad strap hat, I think they probably look like regular policemen. I don't know what a Royal Canadian Police looks like because my version is one that rides a white horse and
Yeah.
it has a brim hat and black pants and a red jacket. You know,
Yeah.
that he stands out like a sore thumb. So they are there to enforce laws. They're not there to interpret the laws. CPS is supposed to enforce laws. Again, they're not supposed to interpret the laws. There are rules that say they're supposed to protect our children from neglect and abuse. Instead, what CPS is doing, they are doing alienation and trafficking our children. They're breaking the laws and they're getting away with it because of their power hungry manner and because they found out it's $1 billion business. The United States is $1 billion business. Someone told me, I can't remember who, but I think it was England. Yeah, the mom from England who has been on my show a lot said that it's $100 million business in England. So I don't know if it's 100 pounds or they also say quid, pound, quid. I think in Canada it's dollars, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know how much Canada's making off the children, but
A
someone
lot.
also go ahead.
They make a lot here off of the
Okay.
children.
I don't know what a lot is in Canada, but I do know this that the moment in England said that the parliament, there's one member of parliament that actually had a business of foster care himself. And he was milking money from the children that CPS was giving him. And they're investigating him. There's some unreal stories right now coming out about CPS and foster care. So you got to be really, really, really careful. So Kathy, who is from Canada, I believe, they use excuse for them going fishing to justify their narrative. You see, anytime CPS shows up your door, 99% of the time, they don't have any proof or anything. They've heard an allegation from a layperson or a professional that says you're beating your child up with your fists or you're poisoning your child with poison. I'm just using exaggerated things. They are there to investigate. So if you don't talk to them and you say you don't want to talk through an attorney with them, then you stop their investigation and they're frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have to go back to square one. So my best advice is do not talk to social workers unless you have an attorney present. And if you're going to use the court-appointed attorney or the public defender, kick them in the seat of the pants and make them do the job. Otherwise, get another one. And if that's not enough, tell them that you will sue them for negligence, and that you report them to the bar.
Okay.
So that's one thing I can say that. Now we have a Kima here, and it says, if you were in New York, Shannon, technically you won't you won't be at fault having knowledge of Courtney's medical disability? Of course not. And in Canada, are you at fault for having knowledge of Courtney's disability?
I shouldn't be. Courtney was born with a disability.
Yeah. Courtney was born with a disability. So I don't know what you mean by that, Akima. I don't know what you mean by that. Akima further says, I called the relinquish of rights from the birth parents harder than the rights of a surrogate parent or kidship resource. I think what she's trying to say is that the rights of the birth parents, if they're transferred, they then become the rights of the guardianship person. I don't know if that's what you wanted, Akima. And I'm trying to answer these questions because Sean and Courtney wanted to talk. Akima says, Shannon, I just looked up services for families with the CDA. I think that's called the Canadian Disability Act.
Yeah.
Okay. And so she's found some. Does Courtney have a 24-hour care?
No.
No. She has intermittent care where they stop in to look on her. But she does have her own apartment, her own place. They give her help, which I think is great. I think it's great.
My doctor told me I don't need 24 hours care.
Okay, good. You don't need 24. In Nova Scotia, Akima says, I guess they call public health services, public health nurses, but in the United States, they're called doulas. Jeez. Akima, why are you coming up with these weird names, doula? I think I understand what public health nurses is, but I don't understand what a doula is in the United States. That's cute. Akima, doula. I probably pronounced it wrong. Oh my goodness, look at all the messages that came in. Oh, good grief. Now I have to see if up. No, I can't scroll up because my computer is messed up here. Oh, there it is. I just saw it. Okay. Go ahead and continue talking, Shannon.
Yeah, like it's to the point now where I don't know how to fight them. And I mean, like, it's so stressful of all the lies that are being said. And right now, because my grandson now is walking, which they told us that he might never walk because of his feet, but he is walking. He's doing really good. And now the support worker that works with us through CPS now came out and told us that they're not going to work with us with his boots and bars anymore. More and how to put them on. Because of him walking, and now they're saying it's the reason why is that they don't want to put him through stress and trying to get him to sit. So they told us to call the IWK and make arrangements, which I did. I reached out to.
What is the IWK?
That is a hospital. It's a children's hospital. Like you guys have up there in the States, you have Mount Sinai and stuff. We have the IWK down here.
Okay. It's a specialized hospital that helps out people with disabilities.
Yeah. Like it's a children's hospital, a 6 children's hospital. So I reached out to the IWK and I reached out to his nurse that works with him. And they're refusing to work with us. And I found out now that the health nurse or his nurse that works with my grandson at the hospital, she's actually going with CPS.
Wow.
Yeah.
Question for you. Akima just says, so why wasn't any perjury omitted as far as evidence? And this is done on the malice and not covered by qualified immunity. Do you know the answer to that?
I have no idea.
She has no idea, Kima. Your questions sometimes are very complex. Miss D, who we don't know where she's from. By the way, Kathy is from Canada. She's an hour away from you guys. She is in Nova Scotia, but she's an hour away from Courtney and Shannon. So we have three of you right now. Well, we have Philistine, who's from Canada too. That's four of you right now in Canada, which is great. But Miss D says procedures, due process, had a hearing, never gave notice to come to court to be heard. Now what? Well, you're going to have to get your attorney. If you didn't have an attorney and a court-appointed attorney was appointed, then you can ask to be heard again. You need to have attorney, Ms. D. And also, can you tell me where you're from so I can help you? Okay. Why don't you go ahead, because there's another 10 more I got to look at. So go ahead, Shannon, and continue your story.
So now, since I did obtain a lawyer, I did what the judge said. I got a lawyer. Hopefully she can fight for us. This is going to be a really nasty court battle because they are not giving up on us. They really, I don't know why they want to put him up for adoption. I have no idea.
How old is your grandson?
Yeah, he is 17 months now.
Well, let me tell you, they will get money until he's 18. So that's why they don't want to give up adoption. If you think about $20,000 a month, and if you're a special needs kid, he gets additional $6,000 more. So $26,000 a month is a pretty hunk of change for the next 17 years. And 22 months or however, 18 from 12 months. So that would, well, he's over a year there. So it'd be 20. I don't know my math. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's a lot of money.
It is. It is. But the stuff that they say, it's like, it's unreal. On how they destroy a family for no reason. Like, I understand that there are children out there that need to be protected, yes. But I mean, here you have a family that, loves this little boy. He was well taken care of. Come into your home and just rip it apart for no reason and really didn't tell us the reason why. And then they have to come up with an excuse when they went to court to put him into the foster home. And they used my daughter's health reasons because she takes seizures. And then they used me as an escape route, saying that I broke the safety plan. And if that didn't work, because we caught them in that lie, now they're switching it over. And now they're using another reason why we're not getting them is because of his feet and my husband's medical because he has a health issue. And it's like, it's just unreal.
Here's a question for Courtney from Akima. Courtney, did you agree to the psych evaluation or were you blindsided?
I was forced by the judge to get it.
So she wasn't blindsided. She was forced by the judge to do it, Akima. See what Akima further says. How can they establish that when they are not clinical psychologists? I know that. I CPS all the time. You have to get a clinical psychologist.
CPS The
And so
person who did my self-allegation, CPS, picked her. So
was he was
my
he a
lawyer wants to do
clinical
another one.
psychiatrist?
Nope.
Nope. It's not from the
Okay.
hospital, it's just from a
Yeah.
weird office.
Yeah. You know, CPS does whatever they want because no one's stopping them. You have to understand. They are a rogue agency that's gone wild. They've found the taste of money. They love that $1 trillion. When you get a bonus to get a BMW car or your own makeup or eyeliner or jewelry or a new Gucci purse every week, that's what my social worker bragged all the time. She was 23 years old, never got a high school education, never got a college degree, didn't have a license, had no training at the Orange County Child Protection Services there in Orange County. She didn't even have, a mentor to follow along for 6 months to a year to learn about how to do CPS. CPS right now is running amok because they don't have a board of directors or supervisors at any level, whether at the state or the county or the federal level. There's no one watchdogging them. I hope someone in the new administration does watchdog them and find out why they're excessively taking away money, because in 6 months' time, the new president has to deal with the budget. He's got to figure out where they come up with money because they're going to run out of money again, because our government spends money like there's no tomorrow. There's no check and balances of what they spend it on. No check and balances. I know for a fact there's a receipt for a toilet that was submitted to the government to be paid, and the toilet costs $17,000. I'm talking about the toilet seat. The seat that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's or any kind of place that sells toilet seats, you can get for $20. But anyway, that's enough about that. So anyway, thank you for answering the question, Courtney. Go ahead, Shauna, and you can continue on.
Yeah, it's just like, I want what's best, and having him in a foster home is not good for him. We do get to see him 3 times a week. We were supposed to be seeing him. The judge granted us 3 times a week for 3 hours. CPS is only allowing us to see him for 2.5 hours.
Okay. Now, why is Akima saying that Courtney was on in October? You weren't on before. This is your second time.
Yes.
I don't know if you got confused with somebody else, Akima, but Courtney was not on in October.
No. Our grandson was taken in October.
Okay. Her grandson was taken in October. Now, Kathy from Nova Scotia, Canada, says they use their own people to do these assessments. That's wrong. They need to have qualified people do any kind of assessment, and you should never subject yourself to do any kind of assessment. You have your own doctors. You have your own pediatrician. You have your own medical support. Those are the ones you should go for. Don't let them buffalo you. Don't talk to them. Have your attorney talk to them, and he'll tell you what they can do and not do. Akima says, Miss, what state are you in? Which state are you talking about? Kathy is in Nova Scotia. She isn't in a state. Miss D, I still don't know where that person is. I think we have Tessa from California on right now, but mostly Kathy. Okay, Kathy says refuse to allow you to get your people. They will not accept them. What you do is you take your attorney and go to court and get those people priorly approved. If you want to have a professional check you out, you take the name and you go to court and say, I want this person approved. Then that's how you get them approved. You use the court. The judge is the final say-so, not CPS. Not CPS.
Okay.
Go ahead, ladies. I'm just reading some more stuff here. Do you ladies see the comments up on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Does it help to show them again on the screen, or?
Yeah, it's good because Courtney receives services to assist her daily. Did you guys request any family therapeutic sooner or prior? No.
Okay. When you see them, if you can answer them, that'd be great. Maybe we could speed things up a little bit. Here's another one Akima wrote.
If you were in New York, if your attorney had checked it, some medical files. I know right now, I know CPS have asked for my husband and I medical files because they have been pushing him to collect his disability, and we will not. We won't. They even put in an affidavit for our trial coming up that we refused to cooperate.
Okay.
Um,
Now, Akima has a question here for Courtney.
I'm having a hard time seeing that. I'm blind.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
okay,
So, Courtney, why haven't you requested any bonding study or parenting child therapeutic intervention to mend the relationship?
Okay, what does she mean by that?
Well, apparently Akima thinks you don't have a good relation with your grandson, but I think you do.
We do. We see him we see him all the time. We do have visitation rights with him, and he knows us. Every time we go to see our grandson at CPS offices, he cries when we leave. He knows who Courtney is. He knows we are his grandparents.
Okay.
It kills us. It really does kill us.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Akima says exactly, Bob. If there was not in court order, if there was not a court order, there was no reason why they made it seem that you were substantially danger. If not a court order, you can't be substantially danger. Kima further said, honestly, Bob, Courtney and Shannon, because you receive services for a certain amount of hours a week and not the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're not considered an immediate risk to your child. You see, if you're an immediate risk to your child, either one of you ladies, you'd be 24-hour having services, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're very limited. You're very limited. So you're not in danger to your child. And there's never been a record of you doing anything wrong to your child. Yes, Courtney does have seizures. And when a person has seizures, they sometimes try to hurt themselves or bite or whatever it is. There's a procedure you do to protect them. Now, Kima further says, let me see. I'm having a hard time reading it. But they did not interrupt training manuals, videos, or correspondence in regards to your son's disability. Did not give you any assistance regarding to the daily care. So CPS has only been asking you or telling you doing things wrong, but never offer anything in care. The child protection system is supposed to help you. Did you know if you need food, shelter, clothing, transportation, education, medical, and a job, they're supposed to offer that to you. They're supposed to offer that to you. They're supposed to offer you all kinds of assistance if you have, and video and stuff. It sounds like this CPS, all they want is their money and run. That's all they want is their money and run and make your life miserable. This is stupid that people that are trying to live, and you two talk very calm, very collective, and you're very informative, and you seem no threat to anybody. All you do is you care about your grandson growing up who needs special help. He has special help. His shoe problem was brought on by the agency, and that can be fixed. It's not a long-term thing. So I agree with you, Akima. Now Akima says there is no court order that restricts you from seeing the child's father. So that is a violation of civil rights. If there's not a court order to see your child's father and civil rights and medical rights, and because they have forced you to get a psychiatric evaluation, that is wrong. I know where Kima's going with that. Your civil rights are being violated. And what I've not heard you say anything about a mental health diagnostic, but are you using psychological warfare to wave the child in front of your face as bait? Now, I don't know what you mean by that. I don't think they're doing that. Now, Miss D, who I still don't know where you're from, says, just a heads up, you're walking into a years long, drawn out back and forth every 3 months for years. Yes, it's going to be a long battle, but if you have an attorney and you still fight, that's going to be fine there, Miss D. And please tell me where you're from. Akima says it's $2,700 a month for childbirth to 5 years age plus a prepper stipend in Canada. I don't know what you're talking about, Akima. I don't know what this $2,700 a month represents for a childbirth to 5 years of age. I know that the medical is free in Canada.
Yes.
You can have a baby, you can see your doctor, and it won't cost you a dime. There is no monthly premium or deductible that they pay in Canada. Miss D says, situation, I can't stick back and forth crisis day out and day out. For 1.5 years, etc., 3 years in the median. Miss D, I like to help you, but you gotta be more, you're very confusing. If you tell me where you're from, it would really help. Akima says, it may sound messed up, Courtney, but maybe the people that work with you told on you because when you went on your trip, they were not able to work because you were not there.
No,
I don't know. That's stretching it. I mean, just if Courtney wants to go on a trip, she can. I mean,
I'm allowed to do what I want in the agency. Like if I want to go on a vacation, like if I want to go to Ontario, they're okay with that because I make my own decisions and stuff like that. If I want to go visit my mom for a month, I'm allowed to do that. If I want to go on a vacation in the summertime for like 2 weeks, I'm allowed to do that. I do let them know where I'm going. I keep them updated. They know everything that's going on. Like stuff like that. The only one that called was the public health nurse, but I did call her to confirm that she did, and she told me that she did. And so I don't know. At the end, the truth always comes out. I'll find the truth in the end. Who actually did call?
okay. Akima says, honestly, Courtney, I'm figuring if you're not there, then don't work, and they don't get paid
Yes,
until
they do.
you come back. They're unemployed.
No, they
Is that
still
the
get
story?
paid. No, they still get paid when they're not with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
They must have other work besides Courtney because they work a part-time. They don't work 24/7. So they must have 2 or 3 of you that have different times. Okay. Question, Akima says, is the disability that Courtney has any direct relationship to the child club feet? No.
No.
It has nothing to do with it. The feet were something caused by CPS. Not Courtney, not Shannon. That's what you wanted to say, Akima. Okay. Legal aid. Here's from Kathy from Nova Scotia. Legal aid doesn't fight CPS to go along with them. I agree. Legal aid, court-appointed attorney, and public defenders work with CPS. They're paid by CPS, and they're a waste of time.
Yep.
Now, Miss D says, stop it. Do not be naive. You tell them what you want and what it will take to get your children back. 3, you tell your attorney you want this case to miss today. Okay, that sounds good. That's right to the point, Miss D. Where are you from, Miss D? I don't know why people are so reluctant. Philistine, who's also from Canada, who's said a lot and has been a guest on my show. I was trained and certified in Florida to be a colon therapist. When the American doctors, my 3-day-old baby, we were left America and went to Nova Scotia. The Eve work taught me how to do baby colonoscopies. I was consulted in Florida to work on adults and adults only, but now I have 20 years of experience doing colonoscopies on babies. Plus, I have a midwife, 30, years of experience. Yeah, I know that see what happened with her baby is that they tried to say because he wasn't going to poop, something was wrong with her colon. They cut it 10 times. It was terrible. Now, Akima says that is a violation of your parental rights, Courtney. If your rights are not terminated, you're legally in the province of Nova Scotia to make decisions for your son's medical needs and education. Until your rights are terminated, Courtney, you still have those rights.
Yes.
You have the rights.
And
we
see,
all,
this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to take her rights from her
yeah.
right now. They're trying to say that she is not competent, mentally competent to raise her son
Okay.
on
I'm
her
going to
own.
have to stop right there only because it's now 8 o'clock and
Yeah.
I have to end my podcast.
Okay.
So I'm going to finish off with the comments, and both Courtney and Shannon can participate. Kathy Ribley, this is Phil Stein talking from one Canadian to another Canadian. This is called barging some when they use their own people and not family members. I agree with you, Philistine. Akima says education needs and negligence decisions. Okay. Miss D from somewhere to Miss 2 today. Every time if she is not a substantial danger, return me my children. Okay, Miss D, you're talking philosophical. I need to know where you're from. Philistine, Kathy Ripley, yes. The I work will help train parents and grandparents. They help train me in doing baby colonotics on a 2-week-old when my son now I have is 20 years old of experience. Her son now is 20 years old, by the way. In his adult life, he has no problem with his colon, which I'm happy to hear.
Okay.
Philistine says, Kathy Ripney, I don't know what's meant by there. I'm going to have to curtail. No more comments, please. Kathy says they only use a list of professionals for assessment, and if you don't use them, they will not allow you to pick your own. It will not exceed those reports. Not true. Again, with your attorney, you go to court to get who you want to get approved. Akima says, well, you're going to have to get where we go from misuse. Okay. And Akima says, does the child have an attorney or guardian ad litem?
Not that I'm aware of.
Anytime you're involved in CPS, if you don't have an attorney, then one is appointed, including the children. So unless you hire an attorney, that child needs an attorney or what's called a guardian ad litem. And she says lito, or what it is, it's someone that looks after that child's rights. They're supposed to in that court. Look into that.
Okay.
Kathy says they want you to give up, don't they? Yeah, they always want to. Yeah, Kath, that's obvious. And then Akima says, do the child have an attorney? Or okay, you already asked that question, Akima. They don't, but they're going to look into it. I'm going to have to finish off because it's going now. It's. I know I missed these comments. All of them came in time, and I'm sorry. But there's so many comments, I can't address them all. I was going too slow tonight, and I'm sorry to miss it all. But I'm told that these comments all were displayed in the room. So all of you saw that. So I want to thank Shannon and Courtney for coming again tonight. I want to thank you all. I want to thank Miss D and Akima and Tessa and Kathy and Philistine and the rest of you for being on the show tonight or be involved in there. I wanted to say, please do not give up fighting for your children. God bless you, and there will be a brief message from Vincent Davis. This is Bob Pace signing off.
Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Faith, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.